What we're going to do now is get into lightburn, where we show you the laser material test. So what you're going to do is click on laser tools and material test. You're going to choose speed for this option, power for this option. For your minimum and maximum on your power, you want to set that at the speed range of what you think you might do. In this case, we know that we're going to start at 400 and our speed for our machine maxes out at 1200. We want our squares to be 1/4 inch, so we're going to go 6 millimeter on our squares. Now for our power range, you never want to go over. You want to keep it within a range before you start blowing out your material. For me, using a 60 watt RF on the Thunder Nova Plus, I know that I don't need to go above 30, but I'm going to show you something real quick. We know that we're going to start at 12 because that's about where this tube starts to engrave. But if we set our machine at 35, for example, what I want you guys to avoid are weird numbers, okay? You see these weird numbers? You got 400, 489, 578. These are weird numbers. Same thing with the power. So we don't want to do that. So the way you fix this is that we adjust the counts, all right? Now, when we adjust the height at 6 millimeters, that's these little squares right here. We made them 1/4 inch. You can make them as big as you want or as small as you want, but 1/4 inch is a good starting point to be able to get you to where you need to be. You could take them up to 8 millimeter if you want. That's entirely up to you. So for our speed, if we just took this down to 9 and look at preview, you see what it just did for the numbers. So this is what you want to do. Focus your attention on getting clean numbers, because then you'll know what the in-between numbers. If we took this up to 11, it maxes out at 11, so you can't go any higher than that. So adjust your numbers on minimum and maximum according to what this count is. But you see here, I mean, at 11, at least these numbers look a little more even. So you're able to dial in your percentages based on more even looking numbers, okay? And then we'll take this up to an 11 and see what that looks like. Uneven numbers, weird numbers. If we take it down to 9, again, weird numbers. So what we're going to do is change this 35 to a 32. And then what does that look like if we preview it? The numbers look a little bit more even now at 9, at 32. But if we took that to a 10, you see here it looks all funky. And then if we take it up to an 11, actually that looks decent. So if you wanted to go as high as 32, you could do this. This is kind of what you want to see, because then you can kind of determine the inside numbers based on what you're seeing on your engraving. But we're going to keep this here at a 10. We're going to take this down to a 30 because I'm not engraving past 30 on my machine. So past 30, with a 60 watt RF tube, I'm going to start blowing out at these lower speeds. So I don't need to be any higher than that, because I know that I'm typically never going to engrave above that. All right, so edit material test. When you're engraving, you want to set this to fill. The material test are those little squares. You don't want to cut them, you want to fill them. You're going to set this to your desired DPI. For this test, we're doing 0.050, 500 lines per inch. Set it to bidirectional. Everything else stays default, okay? Air assist off for engraving. You don't need air on when you're engraving. That's going to create all kinds of char all over the material test. So air assist off and you're good to go. You don't need to worry about speed. Just leave that alone. That won't matter in your material test. Your text settings, set these to whatever settings you know will make that text look super clean. Now, when we talk about text, we're talking about all the numbers, this text here, the interval text here. So we want to make sure that looks correct. So set your text settings to a default setting where you know that that specific material you're engraving. This is a foil, so it's different because we're trying to figure out what power ranges and speed should be to get that gold. But I do know that at least at 17, I'm getting some color, and we'll set that to a speed of 700. And then we're going to set this at 0.080, bidirectional on, everything else default. So set that to whatever your settings are for your black. In this case, we're dealing with gold. You can always change this later when you specifically know what that gold layer engraving is. but just set it to what you need in that moment. You don't need a border on, so turn that off. Keep the enable text on. Preview, there you go. If you need to, hit play, and it will show you exactly what's going to happen with your material test. And that is it. So once you're good to go, go ahead and save it, name it whatever you want, and then hit OK. That way you'll now have that preset over here when you're ready for it. All right, guys, we are ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and send this to the laser, frame it, and rock and roll. All right, guys, what we're going to do is bring this in over here. Now, based on whether or not you use autofocus on your machine, so the way you would get to that is you would click on your menu button, and you can autofocus here. Now, me personally, I tend to use this just because for some reason I like the results better than the autofocus. So I would run this about here. And in most cases, you've been told to be out of focus when it comes to foils. And I'm gonna do that to where I'm like a 16th out of focus. So for me, that's perfect. I'm a 16th out of focus. This is how I wanna run my test. So now in lightburn, or I'm gonna come over here and hit origin. So this test right here, right now is ready to go. Okay, so we're gonna frame this now, just so it tells us where our material test is gonna be. Okay, so that is the test it is going to run. So now we're going to run this by hitting start. So there's our text. So that's where we normally have our gold set to on our text settings to expose that gold layer. If we went a little stronger, then it would expose black and you'd get the black layer. A little better close-up. But this is important, guys. Running this test like this is very important. That way, after this test right here, I'm going to know everything to make really custom patches after this is done. So this is the reason why you run these tests on different materials, especially your metallics, because you're trying to figure out how custom can I go, you know, when it comes to these materials. All right, guys, so I'm gonna let this run and then we'll come back to it when it's all said and done. Okay, guys, we are done. Now here what we've done is we've run a 0.050 DPI on this one from a range of 10% to 28%. Same thing, speeds of 400 to 1200. Now running this at a 0.050 obviously changed the text because we changed that to 0.050 as well just to see what it would do. But here this one's set at 0.085 or 80, somewhere around there. You notice the finish is so much different, right? Because we're at a higher DPI level here. You're required to have higher percentages to get to the black. But there was no blowout really at this level of 0.085, and it was a little bit faster. Here, you notice the black range. There's a lot more black range here at the 0.050. So this is why you want to kind of test all your ranges to know where you're at. And we see here, we don't have any blues at the 0.085 range, but over here, we got a lot of dark blues and medium blues that were kind of pulled out, even like a grayish blue color there, a light blue color there at the 1000. But we have more range of colors in this 0.050 range, and this isn't even cleaned yet once we clean these. But it kind of tells you where you need to be. Okay, you could say, hey, I really like this one. I could probably do this one, even though there's a little bit of blue in it, and run a 2-pass on this one and get perfect results. Or I can just jump to this one or this one. But you want to try the ones that don't have any blue scratches in it still from the top layer. And then if you want to go faster, we've got a range of colors that look amazing at faster speeds.
up here. So this one right here looks really good. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of these in this range here look really good. So you could set these speeds with that gold, or if you want to go slower, you can come down here. You've got one there, you've got one here, and one there that you can mess around with at slower speeds. So definitely a range of colors, but as of right now, I can pull some blacks. You see here at this speed right here, you've got less gold trim on the outside than the one above it, and even less here. Same thing over here. So you'd probably want to use these ones if you're trying to pull black out, where you have less gold trim around it. And even then with these ones, if you went two layers, you'd probably eliminate that gold ring even more. But see, this one is nice and dark black here, this 18 at 400 speed. So you could use that one as a color. You could use this 700 speed at 10% as a color. So now you got blue, black, gold, and then you've got this darker gold. Like this gold is a little bit lighter than this gold up here. But you kind of see what I'm getting at when it comes to these colors. If you're just looking for more gold, you can lighten up your DPI, figure out the gold color you want. You've got your black, so if you're just going for 2 colors, but even here is at 0.080, the refinement isn't as good as it is over here. Running lower DPIs will give you more fine results, but if you need something hot and fast, you can come in with these colors here to get your job done a little bit quicker. You could probably even lower your frequency level to achieve the results you want. Now, if you take it to 0.065 from 0.085, I think you'll find the balance between the two if that's what you're looking for. But you can, again, run one at 0.085, 0.050, 0.065. That'll give you a balance of colors to know what you want to do with this particular material, guys. So that is it. That is how you do this, and that is how you figure out ranges of colors and spectrums that you could choose from when it comes to any color leatherette or acrylics that you're putting in your machine. And again, we accomplished this with the Thunder Nova Plus using the 60-watt RF. Your glass tube will probably most definitely give you different results than the RF tube. So I don't know if glass tubes really pull out spectrums of colors compared to radio frequency. So mess around, experiment. You might want to play around for an entire day just to kind of get familiar with how to set this up and how to do it. And again, the other thing is, like, for example, if you're just looking for gold and you know, okay, I know that in this range of speed from 20 to 26, I'm getting the golds that I want at these speeds. You can now create another card that, say, goes from 900 to 1200 speed, and that gives you a more detailed, now you would go, say, 20 speed to 26 speed, but you would add more numbers so that it gives you, say, 20.3, 20.6, or 20.8, 22.3, 20.6. Now you can really refine how detailed you want to get by creating another card based on the columns of what you like. Okay, this is the main target, and you can really refine the power intervals in between, the numbers in between. Because sometimes being like I said, 20.3 or 20.8, 20.5, you can get more refinement in the spectrum of colors. So that is it, guys. That's all I have for this. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to set up your color range for different things within lightburn.